In this video, I'm going to be talking with Nicole from Kids OT Help, and she's going to be breaking down one of her videos that generated over 366,000 views and explain tips on how exactly she was able to build massive influence on her YouTube channel. On the journey to 100,000 subscribers, she's already a full-time and beyond creator. She's a business-minded creator and entrepreneur, and she's going to be dropping 6 tips as we get into the content today, coming up. This video is brought to you by LearnVideo.live, a 1-hour online masterclass on how to grow a highly influential and profitable YouTube channel this year. On this free training, you'll learn the proven strategies and current best practices for growing your subscribers and creating passive income with YouTube. To register for free, just go to LearnVideo.live. Welcome back to the VI Show. My name is Sean Cannell, and I'm super fired up to be with you today. In this video, we're going to be breaking down a case study of how Nicole has a video that has not just generated 366,000 views and over 3,600 new subscribers, but is also getting around 1,500 views every 2 days. She's going to be explaining 6 tips and how you can apply these tips to get similar results on your channel. But if you're new to the VI Show and this channel, we bring you the best tips and tools, or really the best tips for building your influence, income, and impact with online video. Benji, Travis, and I co-founded this channel, wrote a book together called YouTube Secrets, and he has a new baby, so I am subbing in for the VI Show over the next couple weeks to bring you some powerful guests just like Nicole. But Nicole, for those that are just meeting you, what is it you do in your professional life? You know, how does that tie into your YouTube channel? And in a nutshell, what's kind of your story and journey to building up your channel and business?
Yeah, so I'm a pediatric occupational therapist by trade, and I was working in a clinical setting, and then I got pregnant with my oldest son, Kai, and I really wanted to just start sharing the developmental journey, like what it was like to raise my first child and move with him through the developmental milestones. So I decided I wanted to start a YouTube channel just to primarily document his growth. And it turned into a business where I was able to help a lot of parents from around the world who just didn't have this information. And it's just been an amazing journey and ride. And again, I'm pregnant with my second one. And so I get to do this again from a different perspective, a different lens, and a little bit of experience.
Man, that is so powerful, and I'm fired up for your tips today. It's cool. This is one of the first videos on your channel 4 years ago, and obviously shooting vertical and kind of with the intro, a little bit of vlogging, but it's cool to see the journey because now at almost 80,000 subscribers, congrats, going to be crossing that soon. You've created multiple streams of income. You've have some very powerful strategies, and the first tip that we have today for what really got you here today and to this specific video, which, by the way, the video we're talking about got 366,000 views. You have another one that's about to cross 2 million that follows these exact same strategies. So the first tip that you had in our call before is start scared. Have just a little bit more courage than fear. To get to big views on YouTube, why is this your first tip, Nicole?
Yeah, this is the foundation, right? Because very few of us are going to start without fear. I think a lot of us have a fear of the camera, hitting record, putting ourselves out there. It's terrifying. Whether it's the first video or the 50th video, we all carry fear with us. But what makes the difference, right? Like how we get the results that we're looking for is just having slightly more courage than we do fear. And I think the beautiful thing that happens is when we execute on that just tidbit more courage than we do fear, is that we're training our brains and saying, okay, fear's not in the driver's seat anymore. Courage is taking over, and that muscle gets stronger and stronger. And fear will be with us. Like, let's not pretend as though as we grow and we do new things in business or in life that fear's not going to be there, because it is, and it's part of our evolution and our growth. But our courage muscle is stronger, and fear can come along for the ride, but courage is in charge. So it's like, start scared. We're all, Sean showed that first video. We all have the fear, but just execute with that little bit little bit more courage that you have inside.
That's so inspiring, Nicole, because you are talking about not the absence of fear. All you need is just a little bit more courage than the fear that you're feeling. And so let us know, influencers, have you already posted your first video? And if not, what's been holding you back? I think Nicole would say that, again, before you get the views and the subscribers, you kind of just have to step out of that comfort zone, summon that courage, and press record. Which brings us to tip 2, though, because one of the biggest things that hold us back is, well, wait a minute, I don't know if I have the right camera. I don't know, I need to get some lighting, and a lot of things that can sometimes paralyze us. But you say that the content is more important than the camera. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis. When I found Think Media, I was going through the camera comparisons for days and days and days, and then you realize you're not doing anything. You're not able to grow your channel. You're not able to get views when you're sitting here watching videos on which camera is better than the other. So it's like what you have is good enough, and the content, the things that you have, the knowledge, your experience, your tools is what's really going to make the difference, right? That's like where we start to build our impact. So if we can start there, then you'll see, I think, and this was a big lesson for me going forward, is people really didn't care about my production value or the lighting or the camera that I had, because it didn't look that great in the beginning, as you could see. They cared about what I was sharing and the value that I was offering. So start scared, provide value, worry about the camera and the production later.
I love that. And, these are the stats we're looking at this video. It's just so inspiring. I want to encourage you, influencers, you're one video away from changing your life and business. Nicole's video here is a specific, we'll be breaking it down in more detail in a second. But what you're saying, Nicole, is it's not the production value of this video. You're saying it's the content value, like what you're teaching, what you're saying in the video. Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah. And, it's like a lot of my videos actually are talking head videos, and being a creator, I get inspired by people who have these crazy visual effects and awesome B-roll, and I aspire to include that at some point in time. But like you see, that it's just really real shots, super simple transition, and mostly my face and sharing the information and knowledge that I know my audience is looking for. And so that's what I try and focus on. That way I'm able to put out 2, 3 times more videos that are maybe more basic, but still value packed, as opposed to spending more time in the beginning editing and trying to be creative when that's not the core value piece or value proposition of the video that I'm putting out.
I love that. And your third tip is concise, like clear points, having bullet points. The video we're breaking down, influencers, lean in for this, is 4 minutes and 38 seconds long. So Nicole, you didn't waste time here. What is kind of your tips for making powerful content that, again, doesn't just do well in the short term, but this video is getting 1,500 views every 2 days. It just keeps building your channel. And this isn't even your biggest one. Like your main generator is probably getting, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 views every 2 days. Concise. Why is it important? Maybe what are some of the mistakes you see other creators make when it comes to potentially being long-winded?
Yeah, being concise really worked out for me. I mean, literally when I was doing all of my own editing, I would cut the breaths between everything. I just really wanted it to flow and give as much value in that time as possible, because audience retention is also really important, right? And so how I helped myself navigate being concise, especially in the beginning when it's hard and you're scared and you're in front of the camera and maybe you have like the blank stare going on, is just to bullet point, 3, 5 tips, whatever it is that you want to get across in that specific video. But the beauty about being concise, and most of my videos, as Sean has mentioned, is like 3 to 7 minutes long in length, is that one of 2 things I think is going to happen with your viewer if you're concise and it's value packed. One is they're either going to take notes because it's like one helpful tip after the other, or they're going to go back and watch that video again, which is even better, right? Because more views. And then also, when you have a really concise video that's value packed, it makes it more referable. So I get emails a lot from other therapists or other moms who are like, I've shared this video with I don't know how many hundreds of people. And I think that gets harder to do the longer your video is, because people just have a harder time sitting through a 10, 20, 30-minute video. You know, there are exceptions to that rule, but if you can make it short and sweet, then other people are like, yeah, let me send this to a friend because I got through this and it was really helpful.
That's so powerful. And our mutual friend and one of our business mentors, Shalene Johnson, told us to do it this way, right? Be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. And I think there's something so powerful about punchy YouTube videos. I think, you know, a video like this is a deeper dive conversation. It's a deeper dive exploration into real tactics for how to grow on YouTube. But what we know is like this video, this is not gonna be a viral video. Like this video is kind of putting, you know, unpacking the meat on the bones, if you will. And our best performing videos on video influencers were thoughtful. The editing, they're tight, punchy. Even if it's 8 minutes, 12 minutes, even if it's 16, you wanna make sure that the content value is packed in. And think about influencers. How can you trim the fluff? Nicole's 2 big videos, and as her channel continues to grow, success leaves clues. You go and you say, wow, those videos, how long were your biggest videos? And even for you, maybe you ask yourself, like, wow, you know, a lot of my videos get a couple hundred views. Well, these videos got 1,000, a couple thousand. Oh, wow, those were more punchy, or those were, you know, there was less downtime, or man, those really held attention, or those were really valuable. If you can strengthen your content, you'll be on a path to getting some breakout videos like Nicole has got here. Hit the like button if you are getting value so far. And number 4, Nicole, is on top of starting scared, on top of, you know, the content being way more important than the camera, bullet points, being concise, your goal is to actually connect, know your audience, and share your authentic self. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, you know, so I think one of the most important lessons that I've learned on my journey through YouTube is just to lead with me, who I am authentically, and my experience and the things that I value, because your energy is going to magnetize the people who come to you, your subscribers, the people who watch every video, right? So of course, it's important to provide value and knowledge, but what sets you apart is your energy, who you are, your authenticity, and what you stand for. And so I think that it's sometimes hard in the beginning because we're just like, I don't, you know, let me just get in, get out. But it's like the connection happens when we start sharing pieces of ourselves, sharing pieces of our lives. And that's how we build the community. And that was like a beautiful realization for me. Some of the people who will send me messages or leave me comments saying like, I've been watching your video since you were pregnant with Kai, and it's been such a great journey. It's like, these are deep connections that you can establish with people. And it's such a beautiful thing. And that really happens when you allow yourself to be seen, you're authentic, and you lead with your energy. And again, you're just magnetizing your people, your community. And so that is a very important aspect of knowing your audience and being able to connect with them.
That's so powerful. And what I love about that too is the fact that it's one thing to have a breakout video, but it's a whole nother thing to actually have that viewer that maybe watches a popular video turn into a subscriber, to enroll them into your community, to really actually make a connection with them. So I love that you're saying this, because I know for me, I can even fall in the trap of being super technical and wanting to, you know, answer the questions, make the video efficient. And you know what's so powerful is really one of the reasons these videos are doing so well is they rank in search. Like when we search tummy time for newborns, this really popular one of yours, it ranks #1 for that search term. And so the thing about ranking though, is that if you're not authentic and you're not able to make a connection with the audience, it's one thing to get views, but you may not get subscribers. And so what I love about Nicole sharing this is how can you be how can you strengthen your strengths is what I want to ask you, influencers. How can you be you times two, double down on your authenticity? How can you weave in your values, your beliefs, the things that you love, things that are connection points that go beyond just the content that you're teaching? Nicole, you lead with energy and authenticity, and it really magnetizes people. And guess what? It'll also maybe repel some people, which is good.
Yep.
Like, I think sometimes we want to reach everybody on YouTube, and so we even like make ourselves neutral. I think you need to amplify who you are, because your vibe will attract your tribe. It'll attract the right subscribers. And you also talk about, Nicole, like, what's your message and what do you stand for? Well, how could influencers watching apply that? Maybe if they don't think like, well, I don't know if I share what I stand for in my videos, why should I? Why is that important?
Yeah, I think that it's I mean, you think about your channel and your growth and your profession, it's like you really are creating content about things that you value and things that you stand for, whether you realize it or not. I just think that that's maybe a layer of such that you're comfortable showcasing here, right? So, obviously with me, I care about child development. I care about motherhood and postpartum care. And so I'm educated in that. And so I'm able to share facts and everything else. But creating the connection again with your people and having like lifelong subscribers that follow you for the journey is about peeling back those different layers and sharing more of yourself. And as you said, Sean, it's like I think you get to a point in the journey where you're like, I'm okay losing subscribers, if because I would rather have 100 people love me for who I truly am than a million people love me for a mask that I'm wearing or a facade that I'm putting forth, And so it becomes, I think, more important as you journey through this and your channel grows or you get views and you're making connections and growing your business to stand for something. So that way you have aligned business opportunities. That way you have aligned partnerships. That way you have aligned connections, because it doesn't feel good to work with someone who you're like, ugh, that rubbed me the wrong way. So it's a process. In the beginning, you may think, I don't have to show all of myself, and that's fine. But as you grow your business, as you grow your channel, you're going to see the value in showing more of yourself and being authentic, so you have these aligned opportunities and aligned people entering your world.
Man, you better preach. I got chills on that one when you said I would rather have 100 people follow me for the real me than a million with a mask on. So influencers, I really want to ask you, like, what do you stand for? And I know that it can be hard to put yourself out there. And sometimes this doesn't have to be like your greatest like beliefs or like background or faith, because that might not even super be related to your content. But on the flip side, people do really connect with those attributes about you. I know that on our team at Think Media, we want to really help purpose-driven entrepreneurs, faith-driven, heart-centered entrepreneurs. We are passionate, yes, about a lot of things in culture in terms of justice and leadership, but where we really lean on are what are the values and the things you stand for connected to even what you teach or what your channel is about. Here at Video Influencers, like, we value entrepreneurship, we value thinking different, we value and stand for doing things in a different way. We value the opportunity that exists in the new economy. We value the fact that you can build a business and a life on your own terms. And whether it's Benji and Judy through vlogging and through the various YouTube channels Benji's launched, whether it's trying different things and thinking outside of the box and thinking different than our parents raised us, or thinking different than, traditional ways of thinking, because we have the internet, we have YouTube, we have social media. So we stand for innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. I think these are some messages that could power up your content for what you stand for, getting in touch with your deepest values, your deepest beliefs, and thinking about where you could weave those into your content. I love the fact too, we just changed, not changed, but updated our vision statement, Nicole, at Think Media, to not just helping 10,000 people create a full-time living with online video while making a difference in the world, but to experience that success without losing their soul. Because we saw so many people that have been burning out on YouTube or climbing to the top of the mountain only to maybe realize it was the wrong mountain, or reach the top of the mountain and their family blows up and their marriage blows up. And there's no judgment from us when it comes from that, because sometimes those things can just happen and they're out of your control. At the same time, though, I see so many people that can pursue success and sacrifice the things that matter most. My friends, influencers, what do you stand for? Like, type it out, drop it in the comments. What are some of your core values? And are you doing a good job of weaving your core values into your content? Again, these videos that Nicole have had blow up here are not just because of the right tips and skills, but also because she's connecting with people. She's building a core audience. She's sharing her authentic self. If you're getting value, lightly touch the like button. And tip number 4, Nicole, is on top of now being concise in the content and connecting. It's tip number 5 is level up your YouTube skills. What kind of skills have you had to learn? How'd you learn them? And I mean, all these things, because I love looking, you had that kind of 4 years ago video, but you're getting better on, you know, of course, cameras, and you got lighting and thumbnails. How'd you figure that stuff out? SEO. But what's so funny on the pre-call though, you're like, I actually don't even really know what I'm doing. I kind of like throw the lights up, put the settings. So talk to us a little bit about like the skills though needed and how you've navigated the technical side of YouTube.
Yeah, so obviously I've taken an amazing course here with VRA, if you guys aren't familiar with that, Video Ranking Academy. And that really helped me just have, again, a solid foundation and say, like, I can come back to these sort of evergreen techniques of checking in on how my video is doing and performing and tweak these things. So things like thumbnails. I remember, Sean, actually, like in the very beginning when we first met, something you taught me was like, contrast and color is so important in a picture, because I would just take, oh yeah, that little screen grab that YouTube picked out from, that's good enough. Yep, let's just put that up, you know? And it's like, no, it's got to pop. And so, you know, again, this is a process, and you go back and look at the thumbnails from the earlier days, some of which I have not changed. It's quite different, you know, text, contrast, people being able to read, like he said, punchy, like 3 words that really grabs attention. It's all this evolution of figuring it out. And then when it came to things like filming and tech, yeah, to be honest with you, I watched one of Sean's reviews on a camera that I thought this will be nice, and some lighting recommendations, and just happened to be able to set it up where it does sound good. I have an external mic now, and it's good enough. Like, yes, I could probably go deeper and make it incredible, but my audience does not care about that. So kind of knowing my threshold of like, how can I level up without like going down the rabbit hole of, it's not perfect, it can be better. It's like, it is good enough. And I can make these incremental tweaks throughout my journey to continue to level up. But again, the most important things is the value and the connection and the authenticity and the message, right? So always going back to those core pieces that have gotten me where I am today, and then making small tweaks along the way to just level up and have it all be beautiful.
Whew, good tips. And influencers, what is your next skill that you want to develop when it comes to YouTube? You know, this is a journey. Our goal is to get 1% better with every upload. And there's so many different skills to learn. Nicole has developed her on-camera presence, her ability to communicate, of course, even mastery in her subject matter. But then it's like, shoot, how do I use this camera? And then it's like, you got to upload the video and some simple editing. And I love that Nicole keeps it simple. But tell us in the comments, do you want to sharpen your editing next? Do you want to sharpen your understanding of, you know, YouTube optimization? What is the skill that you want to develop next? And I want to remind you, this video is brought to you by learnvideo.live. If you go there, link in the description below, there's a free training where we actually talk about the technical side. How do you do the keyword research to come up with the right topics and ideas? And then how do you optimize your videos so that they can rank in search and suggested? If you want to learn that, it's a free class at learnvideo.live. And at the end of it, you'll hear about our program, Video Ranking Academy, which is an immersive training program that Nicole has been through. But whether or not that's right for you, I highly recommend checking out that free class so you can sharpen your skills. Brick by brick, piece by piece, adding to your arsenal of YouTube skills. And the cool thing is that this is a journey. Like, I'm so inspired. Nicole's already built this powerful business, making powerful revenue, but the future is forward. YouTube is like a fine wine. It gets better with age. I mean, you keep leveling up, you keep getting a snowball. Those past videos she's made are getting her views today, but she's adding new videos to the library, and you keep pressing forward one video at a time. Always remembering that you're one video away from changing your life, business, and YouTube channel. Might be video 35 or it might be video 300. What's it worth to you to persevere and to hit that breakthrough moment? Level up your skills. And if you want to check out learnvideo.live for that free 1-hour YouTube class, link in the description, or you can just type in that URL. Number 6, though, Nicole, we're going to get to in just a second. And but if you've been getting value, hit the like button. And the question of the day is, what skill do you need to develop next? What do you want to work on the most? Do you think you need to be more yourself? Be more concise, as Nicole taught us? Focus on your content, or maybe learn thumbnails, or maybe learn how to get your titles to pop. Let us know what skill you need to work on next. And before we share tip 6 as well, I highly recommend you check out Nicole's channel, especially if you are interested in things like dealing with tantrums in toddlers. Talk about my future right now, as well as tummy time and things like this. Nicole, will I be doing tummy time, or is that only something that Sonia does?
I know you'll be doing tummy time too. And you'll be doing all sorts of tummy time on the chest, tummy time on the exercise ball. You got to watch my video, Sean. Now you actually have to go through the videos and watch them. Be prepared.
Yep. Nope. There's, I actually realize that this is the season where it's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You know what I mean? Like this, I wish your content was not relevant for me, but now I need your coaching. So I highly recommend everybody check out Nicole's links in the description below, and definitely subscribe to her channel, follow her on social media, especially parents, new parents like me that need a lot of help. And Nicole, number 6 though, is now that you've put out this content, now that you've started scared, you've been concise, you've connected with the audience, you've sharpened certain skills, you say evaluate. What worked? What didn't? What can I do better next time? 3 questions. Write these down, influencers. After you post a video, what worked? What didn't? What can I do better next time? Talk about this, Nicole. And these first 2 videos, or these big videos, 2 million views, almost 400,000 views, still growing. These weren't your first 2 videos ever. So have you been asking these questions like as you've grown your channel?
Yeah, it's a constant thing that I do, and maybe it's not after every single video, because again, sometimes these videos need time to air out on YouTube to really give you a really good picture of what's happening, and to see if it is going to work. You know, with the SEO and the tags and stuff, sometimes it'll rank a little bit later, and that's something that I learned early on with these tummy time videos. Is it didn't rank, you know, the first week. You know, it took months for it to basically take off. But if you can look back at some of your videos that you've put out a couple months ago or 6 months ago, then you can really assess like, oh, this is the type of content my audience is interested in. Or, you know, they stick around for 50% of the video, 60% of the video. Maybe I need to do a series. And that's actually what happened with the tummy time videos. Is the video we're referencing today was a piggyback off the bigger tummy time video that is almost at 2 million views. It was like, that worked. I ranked people, you know, want more tummy time, and I actually had a freebie attached. So that's just kind of like, you know, a free resource, a link in my description box that parents could click on to get more information. And from that video alone, I'm generating like 3,000 opt-ins a month. So, I mean, that's a glaring, you know, this is like the golden goose for me on my YouTube channel, but it's like, that really worked. So what am I going to do next time? It's like, okay, well, next time let's do a series. So you have tummy time for newborns. Let's move into what happens developmentally at 3 months, then what happens developmentally at 6 months. Because as I was, you know, raising Kai, tummy time looks different from when you have a brand new born home from the hospital versus tummy time at 6 months. So using the analytics, and YouTube kind of continues to make it easier for us to see, with the green check marks, or if it's down or if it's going up. And then you can kind of say, all right, this thumbnail worked, this one didn't. How can I tweak it? Maybe zoom in on the face, have a little bit more expression. It's important, though, to look at all of these aspects so that way you're continually up leveling in your video, your titles, your SEO. And that's how we grow, and that's how we make a difference, because these little tweaks do have a big impact sometimes.
That was a rich set of tips talking about not just posting content, as Albert Einstein says, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is the definition of insanity, but it's doing the same thing that you know to do over and over, evaluating how things are going and then pivoting. So you're doubling down with series, you're thinking about how you can follow up. Success leaves clues, thinking about how you can improve your next videos. So don't miss that step of evaluation. What worked on your last video? What didn't work on your last videos? What could you do better next time? The channel is Kids OT Help. If you want to connect with Nicole, definitely check that out. Hit the like button if you've been getting value out of this video. And if you want to get your videos seen, I definitely encourage you to watch that free 1-hour YouTube deep dive masterclass on the skills of getting your videos to show up in search results and suggested videos. That's available for free at learnvideo.live. Nicole, thank you so much for your tips today. And I would love for you to share one final word of encouragement on the journey of entrepreneurship and being a YouTube creator. There's the ups and downs. You have been doing this for 4 years now, very seriously for a couple years. Your business now is catching some major momentum. You're still just getting started, but I'm sure, like me and like everybody watching, you experience self-doubt, the imposter syndrome, fatigue, wanting to give up. Is this worth it? Is this going to keep going? Can you just give us some encouragement kind of on that mindset side of things for wherever we are in our YouTube journey to keep going?
Absolutely. And yes, I experience all of those things as well. Something happened recently where I hit a major milestone. I believe it was 4 million channel views. And I did something, we talked about the evaluate side on tip number 6. So what I did was I pulled my lifetime views. It was either views or subscribers. So I had that really long line graph, right? And I took a snapshot because it was so representative of the entrepreneurial journey, of the creator journey. What you see is these crazy up and down lines, right? Like up and down and up and down and up and down. But then when you pan out, you see the trajectory, and you see that you are rising, and you see that you are growing. And as an entrepreneur and as a creator, when we are in the thick of this, sometimes we just feel that that little micro version of the up and down. Like we are being tousled. We don't know which way is up. We don't know which way is right. Is this working? I'm doing all the things and it's not catching fire. And where are the people? And I've been trying for so long and this is exhausting. And you do feel like giving up sometimes. But it's so important to have the perspective and to zoom out and have that macro view. Because if you do that, you can really see that, like, oh my goodness, the trajectory is up. I'm actually growing. I'm evolving. I actually am doing the things that I've set out to do. But sometimes the day-to-day, it's really hard to feel that growth because we are in these like tumultuous, lessons, challenges, obstacles that we're navigating through, right? And so just take a breath when we're having these days and pan out. And I would actually encourage you, like, if you've been doing this for a little while, like look at your lifetime and see, like you may see an encouraging upward trend that reminds you, keep going. It doesn't feel like you've had a tremendous amount of growth, in the early days or when challenges or obstacles meet you. But I promise you, it's like you spend time and you stay consistent and you continue to put one foot in front of the other, you're going to be able to pull that lifetime chart up and see that, in fact, you have grown quite a bit. And as Sean said, it's just the beginning. And what happens, just like that courage muscle gets stronger, is that momentum starts to build and you will hit a tipping point. You'll hit a tipping point where it feels like you're not trudging so hard with all of your energy and all your might to move the ball, and that you actually have sizable momentum behind you and things begin to feel a bit easier. And that's when I talked about those aligned opportunities and aligned connections that come to you because you've built that foundation and you've shown that you're in this for the long haul. You're committed. You continue to show up even when it's tough. And I promise you, as Sean said, it's like one breakout video. You never know, even if you have 50 views on a video, one person watching that video can change your life. So just remember that you're in this for the long haul. You're in this for the long game, and it can feel so disorienting some days, but you're going to be able to pull back and see the incredible growth because of your commitment and your willingness to put one foot in front of the other day after day.
As Hey, It's Jen said, Nicole, you are amazing. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And influencers, the video we recommend checking out next is how to grow your YouTube channel and the biggest mistakes that creators make, so you can actually maybe solve some of the things that are holding you back. So click or tap the screen right now to watch that video or another video from Video Influencers. And we can't wait to see you on the next episode of the VI Show.